Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Pearson. I'm so excited to welcome you to our Educators in Plexus event tonight. So, I'm a homeschooling mom of three. I tutor for our local classical homeschool community, and I am an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. So, tonight I am joined by two dear friends of mine who are teachers by trade, and we are going to share our stories about how we got started with Plexus, what it's done for us, and how it fits into our life as educators. So, you are on this call because your interest has been piqued in regards to dreaming bigger, wanting more for your family, and just the curiosity of how to generate another stream of income as an educator. And we all have unique goals and visions for our life. We have unique purposes, giftings, abilities, all the things, different personalities. We're all different. And you may be joining us as a teacher or a homeschooling mom. But what I love about Plexus is that no matter who you are, you can be successful at this. So even if you're a homeschooling mom who doesn't leave their house a lot like me, or maybe you are a super busy teacher who pours their heart and soul into their classroom. What we do here is very simple, and there's some basic skills that you need to learn and master. Just like when you first started teaching or homeschooling, you had to figure some things out. But if you're open to learning those new skills, if you're coachable and willing to grow, Plexus can generate an incredible stream of income for you. And I have great news for you. As an educator, your heart is to empower the next generation, whether you're a teacher or a homeschooling mom. And this business is literally a business of empowerment. And so many of the qualities that make you a phenomenal educator are also what would make you wildly successful and impactful here as well. We get to lift up others up in what we do and make their life better here at Plexus. Not only is that super fulfilling, but that's really important to me personally. And it also makes me very confident in what I do because it's very purposeful work. And I'm sure Canada and Chris agree with that as well. The strengths that make you a great educator, your communication skills, your desire to serve and lift up others, collaborating with other people, being self-motivated and hardworking, all of those things will make you successful here. So you're going to be hearing from me, a homeschooling mom, Chris, who's a former teacher, and then Canada, who is a current teacher. And I thought that all three of those perspectives would be helpful for you. So I'll let my friends Canada and Chris share, and then I'll come back and I'll share a bit of my story and close us out as well. So Canada, I'd love to hear just how you got started with Plexus and then a little bit of your story, my friend.
Hi, everyone. Yes, like Leah says, I am a current teacher, so I teach kindergarten, and I also have three small children. So my life is very busy, but I wanted to share a little bit of my story tonight. So when I first got started, I started strictly for the products. I was having some health concerns, and I just wanted to give it a try, and nothing else was working. So I started on the products. I had all the amazing results. I felt great, had less bloating, more energy, all that kind of stuff. And I think as educators, we are naturally caregivers. And so I was just naturally starting to share with people. I wanted them to get the same results. I cared about them. But with every single person, I would tell them, I'm not selling this, but you should try this. And over time, eventually, my friend that I was doing this with, they said, you should just try the business. And I was like, I knew that something was missing in my life. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to give it a try. She was prompting me to share some of my stuff on Facebook. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. So within my first few months, I started to realize that this is something that could actually be substantial for my family. We were able to pay off some medical bills for my son, which was huge. We were able to pay for an anniversary trip with me and my husband. And then we were able to start saving money, which as a teacher, saving money. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is making a difference for my family. My husband is self-employed, and after doing this for a while, that saved money, it became a huge blessing for our family and actually kept us afloat, where if we wouldn't have been saving this money from Plexus, we wouldn't have had that. So it was just a huge blessing for my family. More recently, I've been able to pay for my son's taekwondo, baseball, dance, all of those kinds of things. But the biggest thing is that I'm able to attend all of those things. I don't have to miss a single game. I don't have to miss a, dance with my daughter. And that's huge for me. I knew that I needed the extra income, but I didn't want to miss out on that time with my family. And Plexus has been able to do that for us. I don't have to leave my home. Like tonight is a great example. I worked all day in my classroom at summertime, but we all know that summer doesn't mean that we're not working. I worked all day in my classroom. My kids had taekwondo and baseball tonight, and I didn't have to miss anything. And here I am doing this. Like I'm able to get on here and share all of this with you guys, all from my bathroom. Like I am doing this from home. I don't have to leave my house and go somewhere to do this. Um, I also love that it's not a rigid schedule. So I can fit it in the morning for 15 minutes here, maybe on my lunch, after work if I have time, and at night after my kids go to bed. I'm not subject to a schedule. I don't have to clock in somewhere. I don't have to drive anywhere. I know a lot of teachers like to do like tutoring and things like that, and I don't have to fit around somebody else's schedule. So it's just been, so nice being able to fit into that. Something that's huge for me is I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. So I wanted to be able to step into something and everything be laid out. As teachers, we like to be organized and just have everything set up for us. And I do not physically have the time to do that. I know with like curriculum and things like that, if you're a teacher, you're always having to fill the gaps. I don't have to fill any gaps with selling Plexus. They have everything. If I have a question, I'm able to look it up and all of the resources are laid out for us. I also love that the time that I put in is worth the money that I'm making. I'm not getting paid $12 an hour. I'm not trading my time for money. I found that the amount that I was putting in, I don't have a lot of extra time, but the amount that I was putting in was worth my time, and my family felt like it was, my husband supports it because he sees what it can do for our family. The biggest thing that I really loved to, and I always tell everybody this, is the community. I felt like for so long I was just like missing that community piece in my life, and I didn't know how I would fit in or where I would fit it in. But I just feel like I've met so many people that give us such great support. I have had so many leaders pray for me and my family, going to convention and just getting to meet all of these amazing women and spending time with them. The community is not something I knew I needed, but I realized that it's just such a blessing for my family. And the last thing is I know sometimes as educators, we don't always feel the most appreciated all of the time. I know they try, but it's very difficult. Plexus makes me feel like I am so appreciated. I've gotten Apple watches from them. I've gotten Nike shoes from them. I've gotten North Face jackets, but not just that. It's just like I've gotten calls from people in corporate and them telling me that like they're proud of me. And I'm not like near the top, like, but I've had them call me and tell me how appreciative of them and it's just such a blessing. And I just love this company, and it is definitely something that can fit into any educator's schedule. So thank you.
Oh my goodness, Canada. That was so good. Oh, you guys, what a story, huh? And this is from a current teacher, and look at the value that she's getting out of doing this business. So my name is Chris Rosencrans, and I have been doing Plexus for 8.5 years, which is crazy to think about because you guys, I taught elementary PE in a private school setting for 18 years. And I'm just about halfway, to that halfway point of what my teaching career was, and I remember being 10 years into teaching and I couldn't believe that I'd been teaching 10 years. But my first of all thing of saying that is I wouldn't be here if this wasn't a legitimate business with legitimate products. I tell people that all the time. I started for the products, but also for the business. So my husband and I started the products together because we were noticing some health issues. We saw my friend posting on social media and got curious and kind of got educated through her posts and recognized the things she was talking about that the products helped with in our own lives. And so we were like, you know what, this sounds like something we need to do, but it was a bit of a stretch for our budget. And so right away, it was a question that I had, and I just said, how am I going to do this? And my husband, of all people, said, why don't you do what Sally's doing? My friend that was sharing Plexus. And I just was like, well, I can do that. I can share on social media. People sell things on social media all the time. And fun fact, I actually did another social selling company pre-Plexus, and I wasn't doing that anymore. I was kind of half in with that, maybe even a little bit less. And but I was like, well, I can do that. I can put that on my Facebook page and share health and wellness. If I feel like I'm a pretty healthy person, then because I really did feel like I was doing things right. And that's why I was so confused. So that's why we started the products. And if I felt that way, then there had to be other people that were sick. So I valued health, yes, but I didn't know anything about gut health and blood sugar balance and any of that. So I was more about movement and nutrition and fitness and that type of stuff. So it was a new world for me, but I learned as I went. And that's how I started. I started for the products because we needed them, but I also wanted the business and I wanted to have my products paid for. I didn't want it to be about a line in our budget. And I wanted to take more of just of the products rather than just the core that we started with. And so that's what I did. And you guys, I did that in the middle of teaching 4 days a week. I was not full time, but I did teach 4 days a week. My day off, I had a kid at home with me. So I was still momming. I have 3 kids. My kids at the time were, I believe we were in an odd year. So I think it was 11, 9, and 4. Either that or it was 12, 10, and 5 or no, not 4. I said 4. It would have been 4. Yes, 12, 10, and 4 or 6 or something like that. So my kids were at that school age that was busy and they were in school, but in preschool, and I was volunteering for that, but I was teaching. And then I started this Plexus business, and you guys, it fit into my day because it's done like this. It's done through social media, through messaging people, through sharing information. And that's simply what I did. And it was so basic and it was something that I enjoyed. And I realized that people really did need these products. So that's really how I started. And I fell in love with the products, fell in love with the community. Just everything that Canada said is all the reasons why I kept going. And I also noticed that a lot of people are really sick and are living an unhealthy life and we're struggling. And because I was sharing openly, because that's what this is, it's social selling. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I can get influenced on social media and buy things. I've bought plenty of things through Instagram influencers and ads and different things. I mean, we watch TV, we get, coupons in the mail for different things. Like you guys, we're being sold to all the time. And this is just another avenue. And it's very simple and it can be done from your phone, from the computer, and it's done in your own time. So I built my business through my teaching career. I shared after school hours when my kids were doing homework and as long as they were good. I shared at night after my kids went to bed. I was doing meetings and connecting with people and answering messages and helping my team members that started to grow and grow teams. And that's what it turned into. It turned into this team of people that had a passion for helping other people. And that's what I love about Plexus. We have these products that work because if they didn't work, we wouldn't be sharing about them. That's number one. And number two, I would not have stuck with this business if it didn't work. And so that's what I did. I stuck with it. And you guys, eventually it turned into something so big that it matched my at the time 17-year teaching career. And that's when I decided that it was time to close the door, my PE door, hang up my whistle and be done teaching. And you guys, the crazy thing is I'd always had a dream of being kind of the stay-at-home mom. Like I knew I'd be busy with things and I enjoy being busy. And like Leah had mentioned that too, educators usually are busy doing lots of different things. We're used to juggling a lot of stuff. We're used to, having to be on committees. We're used to having to do multiple tasks. I coached for a long time. That was really busy. I did camps in the summer. I did off-season stuff when I was coaching. I actually even worked other jobs. I worked in a coffee shop in the summer because I didn't have anything else going on. I wanted to be social. I enjoyed getting myself out there and I was new to the community I moved to. So I worked in a coffee shop in the summer. I actually worked for a very popular ice cream company and which was very social and fun. And I did that in the summer. I was part of their team for some social selling in-person type of stuff to get their name out there. So that whole piece was something I enjoyed. And this is it's the same thing. It really is, but it works into those nooks and crannies if you're working or like me now being a retired PE teacher, I'm home and my time looks different, and I do have a bigger team that I get to work with and collaborate with every day, but it's
So my time is a little bit different with what I get to spend here, but I get to do the other things too. I can drive to the different events that my kids are at, the choral contest and the band contest, and I get to actually help and volunteer at school. I get to be on the parent board and help set up the staff lounge and do things that I remember being treated to as a teacher. I get to be that parent, and that was honestly one of those things I always wanted to do. So there's, I mean, so many other benefits to this, but you guys, the sky is the limit. I do want to say that too quick. I was capped, to be honest, at 15 years of teaching. That was the cap for steps in our salary plan. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, I think cost of living did kind of play into future salaries, but my salary was actually different from a typical classroom salary. I was paid according to classroom sizes. So that means if our school's attendance went down, my paycheck went down. So there was a lot of years in probably the last half of my teaching career that I never knew when my paycheck was going to be. I would get to August when I kind of would get the mailing that would show me what my salary was for the year and all the different places. And there were years that I remember looking at it going, I got a pay cut and it was out of my control. But it was hard. There were some hard years that, okay, we still have the same bills and some of those have gone up. And then my kids started going to private school, which we felt very strongly about. And that was put extra taxing, just financial stuff on us, And so when I never knew what my paycheck was going to look like, I had to do something else, And so when Plexus stepped in, there's no cap here. And I really want to express that the sky is the limit. And I've reached that cap, but yet I haven't, because you can keep going in this company. There is really no cap. And so that's just huge. And it's allowed me to actually give my husband some freedom, some financial freedom. My husband now works from home like I do. He gets to do all kinds of odd jobs. He's a mechanic, so he does mechanic work out of our backyard. I mean, it really has completely 180-degree changed our family's life, and the freedom that it's allowed us is incredible. So I love teaching. I loved what I got to do there, and I felt like I was good at it, and it was a wonderful mission field. And but I still get to teach, and it's a beautiful place to be, and the freedom that comes with where we're at now is a beautiful thing. So that is my story.
Thank you, Chris. That's so good to hear. I love hearing all the different perspectives. As I said, my name is Leah. So I am a homeschooling mom and a tutor for our local school committee, and I've been homeschooling for 6 years now. And 4 years ago, a friend reached out to me about this business opportunity. And at that point in time, our family was living not even paycheck to paycheck. It was like below poverty line. Like most homeschooling families, we were living on one income, and that one income was my husband's ministry position, which was not a very big paycheck to stretch. So we really didn't have money for groceries. We were buying used toys for our kids as gifts. We had really given up on the idea of any extras or being able to buy, a bigger house for our growing family. And even the thought of just being able to throw a birthday party for our kids or any sort of extracurriculars just seemed completely out of reach. And actually, we only considered homeschooling because we could not afford Christian education at the time. But I'm really glad that I researched this route because I love homeschooling. But needless to say, we were broke. So when my friend reached out to me about this, my heart was stirred because I knew this had to be an answer to the many prayers that I had been praying. And one of my biggest hesitations, though, was how much time was this going to take? And was it going to be worth my time investment? Because I homeschool because I value my kids. I value being with them. I value the family unit. So I did not want to put my hand to something if it wasn't going to be worth my time. Kind of like what Canada just said. I wanted to build something that would last, would continue to provide for my family, and not just be this quick flash in the pan, here's a couple $100s. And I wanted to be able to build that income on a flexible schedule around the most important things to me, my kids, their education, serving God in our community, all those things. I wanted to keep the main things the main things. And honestly, as I was listing those out tonight, I'm like, that kind of sounds like a lot to ask for, doesn't it? But when my friend shared about the income opportunity here, I quickly saw it would be worth my time financially. When she said that, you know what, you can get a vehicle stipend with Plexus, I saw a future without a junker vehicle that would break down for the first time in a long time. And I could have a reliable mom mobile, which I now have. And she talked about how my working hours could be completely flexible, kind of like what these other girls were saying. And that really perked me up where I was like, okay, I'm listening because I can get up a little bit earlier. I can put the kids to bed. And, you know, because my kids were really little when I started, we can put them to bed at 8 and I could work for a little while. So I jumped in pretty quickly because I felt the green light and I just saw that this was checking all of the boxes of what I was looking for. So 3 months into my business, I was covering all of our bills and now more. Obviously, I've grown and we've been able to start debt snowballing. I had student loans that had been sticking around for a long time, things like that. And so we've been able to start debt snowballing. I've been able to afford the best of the best as far as homeschool curriculum. I think that was kind of a sticker shock when we came in. Oh my word, this costs money. There's things I need to purchase. These kids are here all day. As well as, you know, many other educational opportunities that we would not have been able to afford, like piano lessons, things like that. And I also joke that our homeschool now has a janitor, which is great because I was not being a very good janitor, which really I just have a cleaning lady now biweekly, which is a huge blessing, but I was totally slacking in the janitor department. So this business has really changed everything for us. I never expected to be able to afford to have somebody come in and clean my house while I'm schooling my kids. I feel like I'm multiplying my time, and just little things like that are such a blessing. But the beautiful thing is I've done all of this through intentionally working this business while being an intentionally engaged mom that has been hands-on, and I've soaked up all the moments the last 4 years. I'm teaching all 3 kids, different grade levels. I'm teaching 9 subjects in our local homeschool community. And you know what? We have a thriving business. We have a thriving marriage, a beautiful home life, and Plexus has fit into our life. And kind of like what Canada was saying, this has really just enriched our life too and created so many options for us. And I think as educators of any kind, you're looking for options because you're pinching pennies, you're budgeting like crazy, and you're just trying to figure out how to make it work. Like Chris said, you know, she didn't even know what her paycheck was going to be. So it felt good to bring in a substantial, steady paycheck. It feels good to do that the last 4 years. And it really just has provided opportunities for our family that we would have never otherwise had. So that's just kind of a blip of my story. And in general, I just kind of wanted to go over a couple things about this opportunity here. Most educators are looking at additional in-stream income streams, and there are a lot of different options for making money right now. So I wanted to share just briefly, and I can't touch on all of them, so have a conversation after this, but briefly wanted to share how this opportunity stands apart. So I'm going to start by saying that network marketing is the best business model out there for earning money because it's highly profitable. So my husband and I, we both have tried other businesses in the past. I tried making my own essential oil items for a while. I was running a personal training business. My husband had built different things and was trying to sell those things. He did several different businesses. We tried a lot of stuff and we never really made a lot of money there where it was actually worth it, or the profit after paying all of the expenses just wasn't much. As network marketers, we do not have a lot of business expenses because there's not a lot of overhead costs like other businesses. So you're pocketing more profit, which is huge. So what is network marketing? And I know Chris called it social selling, synonymous. Essentially what it is it's commissioning normal people just like you and me to tell others about products instead of paying celebrities, marketing heavily, things like that. So essentially it's putting those marketing dollars in the pockets of normal people so we can pay for those piano lessons where you can cover your mortgage, sign your kids up for baseball, purchase that homeschool curriculum, maybe get stuff for your classroom. And what's awesome, like Chris was saying, there is no income cap. And I didn't quite understand what that meant initially. In other jobs or side hustles, there's always a cap, whether it's the cap of your salary, like Chris, or maybe you're trading the dollars for hours. And in that case, the cap will be the hours that you're capable of working. So if you're a full-time educator, your hours of availability are already limited. So if you pick a side hustle that trades hours for dollars, you are capped by your availability and will struggle to get ahead. But with network marketing as an income stream, as an additional stream of income for you, there is no limit to what you can earn. There's no cap just because you only have a certain amount of hours. So this is why Chris is now retired, like she said, making way more than she did as a teacher. She's still teaching. It's just a different avenue. And I live in Michigan. I remember 5 months into my business, I hit the mark where I'm like, you know what? I'm making the average income of a teacher in Michigan right now, 5 months into my business, which was huge for a brand new business venture for me. So if you want to grow your income, this is a great option. If you want to replace your income and provide yourself options to step into new things, this is also a great option. I also wanted to touch on the residual income with this business, which is amazing. So residual income is earning income over and over on work that you've already done. And that's what really sets this apart from other side hustles like Chris's coffee shop or the scoop in the ice cream, or it really sets it apart from anything where you need to sell a high volume of something to make more money. So like when I was making homemade goodies, I know Canada, you were making some homemade stuff for a while too. The residual income side of Plexus truly sets it apart from other opportunities like that. I also wanted to touch on our compensation plan because it's special and unique. It actually is the comp plan that really blew people's minds when it came out because Plexus is so generous. And how is Plexus generous? On top of the regular paychecks, our company blesses us with luxury trips. And I wanted to highlight that that is for all levels. Not just top earners, which I think truly sets Plexus apart. I love that. There's all the extra incentives. Canada talked about some of those, and then even the generous vehicle stipend when you hit a certain level. And I really kind of wondered, how can Plexus do that early on? And I know now that it's because they are a debt-free company. Seeing so many companies in all areas of business, not just networking or network marketing, I've seen so many that have went under since 2020 especially. That has made me so thankful that we have a solid company with integrity, without debt, with solid leaders and great vision for the future. I wanted to highlight flexibility as well. I know we all kind of touched on that. Everybody's life here is a little bit different, but our businesses, we take those seriously. But we also, as you can tell, we have other priorities. And this business does not require tons and tons of hours if you are intentional with your time. You have to work hard, but you're not trading those dollars for hours, or hours for dollars, excuse me, like we were talking about previously. And you can work your business around what the most important things are for you. So to close out here, you might be asking, is this possible for me? And can I do this? And the good news is that network marketing is a set of skills that anyone can learn and get good at. And as educators, you more than anyone, you know that you can learn something new. People don't necessarily come into network marketing as a natural. You don't have to know a lot of people or be super outgoing, have any prior experience or anything like that. But if you come in and if you dream big and work really hard, if you have a growth mindset and you steward this opportunity well, I really believe this could be a huge blessing for you and your families. And it's not by accident that you guys are here tonight. Someone invited you because they think that this would be a blessing for you. So I want you to get in touch with that person who invited you to this event, because I bet that they would love to highlight some reasons why they believe that you would do amazing at this business. So thank you all for joining us. Have a great night.